very special guest with us today. This is Miss Nicoline Evans. She is the writer of the book Blue Spots, which you guys have all read in class. She's going to talk to you a little bit today about one of her other books. She's going to talk a little bit about writing and reading, the importance of creativity and stuff like that. And she's also going to be available for questions. So, if you have any burning questions, try to hold on to those till the end. It'll probably be the best time to deliver those. And I think that's all I have to say. Whenever you're ready.
So, you've all read Blue Spots, right? Okay. Today, I'm going to read to you Gray Spots. Any guesses on what you think emotion you think is going on? Your hands up first. Me? Yeah. Nervous. This can tie into it totally. Fear. Good job. Stop fear. So, I'm going to read it to you, and if you have any questions, raise your hand, okay? Gray Spots. A story to empower our courageous hearts. Every morning when I'm awake, gray spots hang above my face. They try to scare me back to sleep, but I am too brave to leave you. Chin up, friend, you are not out. With my help, you'll take them down. Life will have a brand new view when gray no longer blocks your view. A mission done on this brave day, my friend had packed his spots away. Ready for a new adventure, I tie my cape and fly with splendor. Into school where I will learn the marvels of our wondrous world. How many of you guys like writing? Oh, sweet. Awesome. Got a lot of writers in here. Very cool. What kind of stuff do you like writing? What genres? Do you like writing short stories, poems? Scary stories, like horror? Fantasy, awesome. That's what I write too. I'll tell you about those in a second. Mystery horror, ooh, that's fun, right? Realistic fiction, awesome. Very cool. It takes a few years. Poetry, very cool. Also, I do that too. So actually, this is actually one big poem. And what I did was I wrote a nice long poem, and I broke it up and told my artists which pictures to put on it. We'll do a couple more, and then I'm going to explain. Okay. Fantasy. Who else writes fantasy? Very cool. Let me tell you a little bit about what I have over here. So, I started writing. I went to college, I graduated, and I started doing a desk job, and that was great. But I kind of felt like something was missing for me. I needed a creative outlet. So I danced all my life, I always had that. And then I realized, I was like, well, I don't have that anymore. So I liked reading, I would always read all the time. I've read as many books as I could. And then I started writing my own stories. So I started with Ego the Elements. The first book you write, just so you guys know, is always the hardest. It's always the hardest book to write. This took me 5 years to write. And then I took it down and I rewrote it again. So this one's all about humans who evolve into the elements, so earth, fire, water, air. And you follow the main character on a huge chase of Alice in Wonderland-like adventure. So what you learn when you're writing is sometimes little fun things that chapters. Every chapter should have a purpose, right? Make sure the action is moving and you're keeping it interesting for your readers. So I did them in lots of different ways. I had the first book I ever wrote. I had a dream about a girl falling from the clouds, but she wasn't dying. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Like, well, maybe she's the element of air. And then it kind of spiraled from there. Sometimes I hear music, I hear a really cool song, I'm like, man, that should have a story behind it. Sometimes I'll watch a TV show and I'll just get a feeling and I'll write something that's like similar vibe. Paintings, see a painting and it's a still picture, but like, what's the backstory of that? I think it was that I liked reading so much. We have readers here, I'm assuming, right? You guys like writing? Yeah? All right, very cool. So I liked reading so much, and I'd be constantly downloading books on my Kindle, buying books at the library or at the bookstore, and it just turned into, I was like, you know what, I think I read Hunger Games, and I was like, yeah, I think I can write a story that people would really care about. So it's just about believing in yourself and giving it a shot. So if I had writer's block, I'm sure all of you guys have experienced that, right? Writer's block? Yeah. And it's a real pain. I do the same exact thing. I'll just go to the gym and then maybe on the news I'll see something, I'm like, wow. It's not related, but it kind of inspires a different thought, and you can kind of go back and, right? Go ahead.
I wrote a book about my baby brother.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
And it was called Fat Baby.
Fat Baby? Uh-oh. He's not going to be happy with you when he grows up and reads that, huh? Yeah, so these are all chapter books. So over here, kind of see it's all words. It's a big, meaty book. The chapter books, you have to be very organized, right? So, okay. It's different. So, when you write a children's book, it's a quick read. It's kind of like listening to a song. So you can listen to a song in a few minutes. Versus a book, there's a longer investment. So it takes a longer time for people to give you feedback about these. And these are more like instant gratification. Like someone will read it and be like, oh, that was really great, I liked it. Whereas these, it'll take a couple months. But either way, I think I personally like writing the chapter books more because I have a lot going on up here. And the more I can get out, the more sane I feel. So, but yeah, chapter books. Go ahead. Favorite book. I actually think Blue Spots, which you guys are already very familiar with. I think. Yeah. Blue Spots came from a very organic place, so that was obviously about sadness and one of your strong enough to tough times. So my family had a lot going on, and I came out of the sadness and realized that was a lesson I wish I had had when I was your guys' age. So it was an organic writing. Okay, this is a great question. What do you think the next Spots book will be? What color and what emotion? Red Spots, what do you think what emotion? Anger. I'm definitely going to do that at some point, for sure. I have another idea, too. Go ahead. What do you think that would be? Happiness, that's a good idea. Discuss, that's cool. It's definitely green is the one I'm going to do next. That's a cool idea. Mine's a little different. Anxiety, that's great. And you know what's so fun about these emotions is they all can kind of interconnect too. So gray spots, fear, blue spots, sadness, and they all kind of fall in the same place, but they each talk about different topics. Sure. Payment, so maybe I shouldn't have put that up. That's an adult book, so it's a little more horror. So some of you said you like horror, but I won't go too much into that one because I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, so actually I have a next series that's going to be coming out. Actually, this is kind of not set up right, but this series back here is a trilogy. So it goes Hall of Mosses, then it goes Field of Ashes, and then it goes Bel Air. And it starts off with a woman who thinks the trees are talking to her. Like, this is crazy, I'm losing my mind. But then a bunch of supernatural things start happening and she realizes she might not be as crazy as she thought. Right, so then it's like a little bit of a nature dystopia. Anyone write dystopias in here? Where it's like the end of the world and people have to start over? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So then the next book is going to be all about dragon women. Awesome.
Maybe you should like a final book where you like reconnect all the Spots characters and like maybe like how they all have their struggles.
Okay. First topic, I think it's great to have like a Spot City, right? And everyone kind of reconnects and they all kind of become friends, sort of like Purple Spots is another new book I have. What do you think this is about? Go to next. Pick that. There you go. What emotion? Oh yeah, you. Yeah, that's you.
Cam.
Go ahead. Happiness. A little bit, yeah. Friend, yep, it all ties in. Friendship, yep. Acceptance, there you go, perfect. And all those things definitely tie into acceptance. Kindness, friendship, happiness. It's all about acceptance and loving people for who they are. The world is different and that makes the world a beautiful place. Some of you guys ordered these copies, so you guys can go through these, but sorry, I didn't finish your question. Favorite authors? Trying to make people you would know. So obviously J.K. Rowling, you all know Harry Potter, right? Of course. So I grew up on Harry Potter. When she was releasing those books, all the characters were my age. So I was 11 when those books came out, so I kind of grew up with the characters. So I definitely was inspired by her. And then I like Neil Gaiman. You guys know who he is? He's a little bit of an older writer. Yeah. So those are two of my favorites. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah. So what's going to happen is you start off with this one, and there's 7 champions. So I don't have pictures of them with me, but there's 7 champions in nature, 7 women that get chosen. And in the dragon series, there's going to be 7 dragons that correlate with each other. So it's a very intense world, yeah. Favorite genre? Definitely fantasy. I like fantasy, but I like everything. So I don't discriminate. I like fantasy because it's kind of a fun way to escape the real world without really escaping. To have blue spots? So do I. That's why I wrote it. It's sad, but you can find strong ways to get through it and it makes you a better person, right? Oh, I didn't finish that. You're right. Thank you. Green spots. So my green spots is going to be about envy and about social media because you guys are growing up with something totally different than what I ever grew up with. And you got Instagram and Facebook, and I don't even know what else will be invented. But it's really important to not compare yourself to other people, right? You want to not compare yourself. Don't look at these perfect pictures and think that's what you have to be. You're perfect just as you are. So that book is going to be all about that. Yeah, go for it. I love that. White spots for boots. That's beautiful. Good idea. Percy Jackson? Yeah. So a lot of times what I'll tell people at shows is I'll say, if you can handle Harry Potter, you can handle the Percy Jackson series. These books are really hot too.
Is there any book that you're writing right now?
Yep, so I am writing the Dragon series. I'm writing that. I'm also writing a collection of dark fairy tales. So, yeah, that's a fun one. I wrote one of them, and then I took a break to start the Dragon series, and I'm gonna have to go back and forth. So I like going on adventures. Who likes hiking and outdoor stuff here? Yes, you're my people. Very cool. Whoa, okay. Yeah, so skiing, hiking, all that fun stuff. So dirt biking, all that fun stuff. So I like doing that too. So I'm going to write a book called Cloud Hopping with Nicoline, and I do a lot of photography. So I take pictures when I travel. I just went to Canada recently, and I plan on doing a book that has, it'll be a picture book, but with photography and a little cartoon character. And it'll kind of hopefully inspire young kids to want to travel and see more. Highland Falls, Rocky Mountain National Park. Yeah, beautiful. I was there when it was snowing. So here's who likes hiking again? All right. Don't hike in the snow without sunglasses on. Right? The snow can burn your eyes, and it happened to me. So be very careful. Yes. The sun reflects. Here's a science lesson, right? The sun reflects off the snow, and then it hits your face, and it can burn your eyes, and it hurts really, really bad. So it's really easy to lose track of a story. So I have outlines. This is great. So when you write, a really important thing is to have an outline. Whether it's by chapter, whether it's character breakdown, something that I always have, I call it my holy grail. It's a notebook just filled with notes, and I can always go and refer to it. That way, I keep my facts straight, I keep the characters straight. But yeah, it's easy to get confused for sure. Okay, yep, so that's the sequence of humans. Again, it's just dark and it's set in Russia. So that's all I'm making it more interesting, right?
How long has it been?
Oh, how long? So I started writing this in 2009, and like I said, it took me a very, very long time to get a first draft done. So I published my first book in 2014. When were you guys born? 2008 and 2009. Okay, great. So I've been writing since you guys were born. Long time. What month? Wow, that's specific. I published Humans in February 2014, so that's the first book I published. Started writing? I don't know, but I started writing. I liked writing on my trampoline at my parents' house, so it was probably the summer because it was warm outside. So maybe. Like I had plot holes? Oh, I hope not. Yeah, but that's a very valid concern for authors, yeah. Oh, no, and he wasn't writing another one? Or she wasn't? Oh, you gotta send them an email, be like, come on, man. You gotta it's not me. Yeah, I hear ya. You guys gotta send an email, you gotta voice it.
When you're writing, do you develop your characters first and then the setting around that, or do you kind of get a setting in your mind and then develop the characters?
So I get the setting and the story in mind. So I usually have like the main character kind of figured out, But then around that, a lot of times, like I'll go, like Google definitely thinks I'm gonna have a kid because I do the baby name generator all the time to get names for my characters. And so I'll make a list. So like for example, in something like this, it's like names that mean earth, names that mean air, names that mean water. And I'll have a whole list. So then as I'm writing and a character kind of gets born into the book, I can just be like, okay, cool, click a name. Because I can spend hours looking for names for a character. But yeah, no, I definitely start with the storyline and then I go to the characters later. But then I have like, once I figure out a character, I'll take a minute to kind of actually develop them. So it's like, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What drives them? What's their purpose? What are their goals? So it's important to definitely do. But yeah, I start with the story. I tend to be a storyline driven.
Are your books in stores?
Yep, so I have mostly online stores. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and then my website. So I have a little shop. Drakina. That's the dragon woman, yep. So that one, you can start whenever it's done, maybe, I don't know, 6 months from now. You can start with that one, you can start with 5,000 months. You know, you never know. If I have enough writer's block, you can take 5,000 months. Yeah. My favorite characters? I like Juniper, Champion of Trees. Because I like hiking. This story was inspired because I was hiking alone in a forest, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool if the trees could talk to me. So then I was like, well, that's a cool idea. How can I make that a bigger story? Well, maybe someone's a champion of trees. Imagine if the trees had a collective mind. So I'm talking to a tree in Washington, but they know what the trees in China see, you know, because they're all collective. I had an idea for a girl who talks to trees and an idea for Dragon Woman, and I was telling my brother about it, and he's like, well, why don't you just connect them all? They're all kind of elemental, right? And I was like, awesome. So sometimes talking out loud to people is the best way to brainstorm. So like me and my mom on the drive down to Baltimore, because I'm actually from New Jersey, we had like a 3-hour drive, and I was getting a brain block, right, for the Drakina story. And so I'm just talking out loud, and she has no idea what I'm talking about, but I eventually figured it out, and I kind of was able to put an outline together. So yeah, sometimes just talking out loud, sometimes, like I said, songs, TV shows, painting, lots of ways, yeah. The Gladiator element version of the Lorax. That's really amazing. I like that. I might steal that from you. That's cool. Very cool.
So this is basically practice for like
Yeah. Except you guys have much cooler questions than adults have, so definitely. Yeah, you guys actually get into it, yeah. Yep, so I was at Baltimore Comic-Con all weekend. Yesterday, Saturday. Yeah. Oh, he was there? Did he dress up? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Everyone comes in costumes. It's kind of like Halloween all the time, right? Right, you're right, yeah. Yep. She's holding a heart because it's a dark love story. So. The plot thickens.
Yes. All about it.
I know.
The books you have up here, are those your original versions?
Which ones?
The books up there that you have, are those the original versions?
Yep, so these are all, oh, you mean like have I gone and like fixed them up at all? Yeah, I've gone back and kind of polished them up a little bit as my writing has improved over the years. But yeah, these are all original covers, original storylines, yeah. I love Halloween. That's one of my favorite holidays. So I like to like now that I always fun to write because it's very spooky. So yeah. Yep. So these are definitely for children. These are kind of like young adults, so maybe your guys' age and up. And then I have 2 different series that are adults. So I kind of keep it spread out. Yeah, mixed up. Yeah. All right, cool. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the really great questions.